I'll use this one. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. You know, I had the pleasure of doing this auction as the auctioneer for roughly 15 years with Marty Walsh and the Mayor Menino before them. And then Dan Coe, who's sitting over here beside us, was Marty's chief of staff, as many as you know, to give the proper endorsement, who's now running for Congress in the 6th Congressional District. Great man, Dan Coe. We're going to have a little booth out there for another type of volunteer contribution out here for Dan in just a little while. A lot of great people in the room here tonight, folks. I don't know if you know, represented by so many great companies. There is a rep. Mihal, Bank of America is amazing, right? Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. We have somebody here, I don't know if you know this, from J.P. Morgan tonight. Used to work for Merrill. Sam Hodgson, would you stand up? Sam, just stand up. You know, Mike, I noticed when the paddles were going around, Sam's hands were like right in his pockets the whole time. Sam, we are $5,000 short. Sam, can you, Sam? $5,000, Sam Hodgson. This is not going to end. $199, $5,000. Thank you, Sam. It's so great. So many wonderful people. Jerry, that's 25 right there. Will you match it? Jerry, will you match the 5? Jerry, will you match up? Jerry! Whatever Jerry said, I agree. It's all good. We're good with him tonight. Listen, a lot of great people here. I just mentioned Mihal tonight. We have great Steve DiFilippo, who was so generous with what he did for Davio's. We have Dave Graney, who was the past, where is Dave? Is he still around? Somewhere. Dave Graney, who was the chair of this event one time before. Chris Jameson at Koji, who was some of the finest restaurants in Boston. Avon's, Marielle, Lolita, all these great restaurants in Boston, been a longtime supporter. And I don't know if you guys know, Jay Calnan, the lead electrician at JCA in Boston, is here tonight to help us. And Jay is such a great guy. Lead electrician, represents the electrical union. We're lucky to have him tonight. So it's a great honor to have him here tonight. We're so lucky. Yeah, anytime I can help. But tonight we have a great honoree, a guy that I've known for probably 20-odd years. We had the opportunity. I wasn't smart enough. He reached out to me when he was raising money for Kayak back, 2001, 2002. Drove down to my house on Cape Cod to give me the pitch, and I was smart enough to say no for a company that was just such a home run. I can't begin to tell you. But yeah. But we are just so lucky to have him here tonight. Paul is a child of Boston, as you may know. Grew up in West Roxbury, was a graduate of Boston Latin School, went off to UMass Boston, where he got both his undergraduate degree and his graduate degree in computer science. Rachel, his wife, I had the honor of meeting just tonight. She's a native of Miami, Florida, a bachelor's degree from University of Central Florida. And her career has been in entrepreneurial ventures and human resources leadership, where today she co-runs a company with Paul's great son, Mike, who's also here tonight. The two of them run a great startup here in Boston. It's a good bet that Paul is the only person in this room tonight that's had a national best-selling author write a book about Paul and his life. Many of you may know the individual Tracy Kidder, who wrote a lot of just really wonderful books about a number of topics. Tracy met Paul on a trip to Rwanda and another trip to Haiti, where the two of them had a chance to meet, and was just fascinated with all the good work Paul has done. And wrote a story, you have to hear the whole thing before you understand this, wrote a story in a book called A Truck Full of Money. Now, that sounds like a little off the charts, but there's a great story behind it, because with A Truck Full of Money, it talked about Paul and the great work he's done. He was the founder of Kayak, a company that's the one that I was smart enough to pass on, company that was sold for $2 billion after being a public company. That was back, by the way, when $2 billion used to be a lot of money. So, and one of the things out of that was said, early on, one of his colleagues talked about the good job that Paul had done and how he would follow him anywhere he went. And he said, someday, his colleague said, someday, this boy is going to get hit by a truck full of money, and I want to be standing nearby when this happens. Well, he did indeed do great. He did a whole number of companies that he put together, and when he really had his great success, the first thing he said to so many, he said, what am I going to do with this besides give it away? And, you know, a lot of us say that, but this guy has built his life on giving away the money that he made. And I'm going to tell you about just a little of that in just a minute, but he was a more than a brilliant programmer, and despite suffering from what was eventually diagnosed as a bipolar disorder, he discovered in himself a genius for building teams and conceiving of the most innovative enterprises that we can imagine. He became, as one observer put it, a pioneer of geeks. His optimism and brightness, however, and his innate sense of fair play, as well as his native genius, inspiring intense loyalty amongst his followers, was something really to behold, and it was amazing. Paul has been a behind-the-scenes but incredibly generous benefactor at levels I can't describe, of bridge over troubled waters for the better part of 10 years. When he joined me one night as our guest here, and he sat here with Dan, your boss, Mayor Walsh, and we sat at the table, and he learned more about bridge. He's been with Bridge on the coldest of nights, driving out in the van with Bridge Over Troubled Waters. He's always quiet and behind the scenes, and his work has been extraordinary. Paul and Rachel lead the English Family Foundation and are deeply committed to so many local initiatives, especially those benefiting the city's homeless population. In 2016, he founded what is now known, many of you might know it, the Winter Walk for Homelessness in Boston, which now draws an annual crowd every February of thousands of individuals from around the Commonwealth to raise awareness and capital for people. He also had the idea for the Embrace Memorial that sits in the Boston Common today. If you're not familiar with that, he took the resolve for fighting for racial injustice and spent years fighting bureaucracy in City Hall and so many community groups you can't imagine to raise the millions of dollars necessary to put the Embrace statue and the Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King Memorial that sits in the Boston Common today. His commitment to justice is global. He sits on the board of Partners in Health, which develops healthcare systems for some of the most impoverished countries in the world: Rwanda, Haiti, Mali, Siberia, you just name it, and Paul has been there. And through his work with Partners in Health, he visited Haiti many, many, many times as a volunteer and as a benefactor. This led to him founding Summits Education, which built a network of 39 schools in partnership with the Haitian Ministry of Education in Haiti, in one of the toughest countries that anyone can begin to live, and that was all thanks to the great work he did. So please join me in recognizing two amazing human beings that not only care, but do something remarkable every single day for those that need our help. It is an honor for me to introduce my great friend Paul English and his lovely wife Rachel for the extraordinary honorees that we have here tonight.
All right, I just have some short remarks here. I'm not going to keep you all too long. My wife, Rachel, and I really want to thank Elizabeth and her team for this honor, and for Bob, who brought me into Bridge 10 years ago. It's really been a remarkable experience for me to get to know the Bridge team. Thank you for supporting Bridge tonight and all year long. Bridge is a special place. Bridge is a transformative place. Bridge turns despair into hope. And the people in this room, you here tonight, have helped save lives through Bridge. That's not an exaggeration, it's the truth. In the investment world, we'd say Bridge has extraordinary ROI. Every dollar, every hour, every act of generosity here gets multiplied. Your investment is safe, and more importantly, it pays off in the lives of thousands of young people in Boston. Many years ago, my friend Dr. Paul Farmer taught me something I've never forgotten. It's not enough to love our children. We must love all children. And that's what Bridge does. Every staff member, every volunteer, every member here leads with love for every young person who walks through the door. At Bridge, the first lesson is not about job training or housing. The first lesson is about love and respect, learning to love oneself, learning to respect oneself, and then expanding that love outward to one another, to community. One of the greatest joys of Bridge is watching young people not just receive help, but to give help to each other. That's when you know the work is working. That's when you see strength replacing fear, confidence replacing shame, and leadership replacing loneliness. Yes, we teach skills, financial literacy, job readiness, navigating housing, and managing life. We help youth like Nixon, a member of the Millionaires Club. In the video, he will share how the financial literacy programs helped him learn to save, plan, and build a strong foundation for his future.
Hi, my name is Nixon. I've been in the Millionaires Club for 7 months. The Millionaires Club is about building long-term wealth. Long-term wealth is important to me because I want to attain financial stability as well as financial independence. One of my bigger goals would be owning a small business, working towards that right now, and buying a house potentially down the road. I use the brokerage account to invest my money. The long-term goal I have with compounding interest is building my credit. That's something I've struggled with, and it is a great program in that my knowledge on the advantages of saving money were limited. That program opened up my eyes to realizing how much I could be able to do if I'm willing to make the small sacrifices right now in the long run. Millionaires Club has given me this ability.
Hearing Nixon's story reminds us that real changes don't happen in isolation. When these young adults start lifting each other up, something powerful happens. They gain confidence, they find purpose, and together they become unstoppable. There's a Jewish teaching: to save one life, it's to save the world. That's what this room does, week after week, year after year. We're not just providing services, we're saving lives. We're transforming futures. And by doing so, we're building a better Boston and a better world. Thank you for believing in Bridge. Thank you for standing with our youth. And thank you for helping turn hope into action.
Hello? Focus on me if you could.